Alrighty there, gamers. What's up, everybody? My name is Sen. Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video we are finally getting back around to some more of the Dragon Ball FighterZ tutorial that I'm going to be making. It's been a little while since I've been able to make one of these. It's just been a very busy guy. You guys know what to do, what to be, but I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be continuing this, and happy to show you guys a couple more things to help you on your way to become better Dragon Ball players. I did finally just order some lighting to fix this situation that we got going on right now. It's not terrible right now, but last time we left off, we went over a couple different things. We went over notation, auto combos and their uses, normals, special moves, and supers. But I do have a couple things I want to show you guys again today. For today's video, we're going to be starting our journey on setting up offense. Today we're going to be talking about block strings, throws, neutral, and combos. Alright everyone, the first thing that we're going to talk about is block strings. Now, what is a block string? A block string is a sequence of attacks that go into your opponent's guard, and the overall goal is to get a hit or open your opponent up in some way, shape, or form. Now, chances are your block strings look something like this, and that's okay. Everybody starts somewhere, but I'm going to help take your block strings to the next level and kind of help you get some better ideas on what they should look like. Now, much like combos, block strings will go from the lightest attack in succession to the heaviest attack. You cannot, in most cases, go backwards. There are special circumstances in where they can, but most of the time, 99% of the time, they will be ascending from light to medium to heavy. You can do light heavy, you can do medium heavy, but you cannot do heavy into light. I have to switch to my Panthera because I don't have a lot of extra buttons on my hitbox, but Victrix, if you guys want to send me your version of the hitbox, I would gladly use it with open arms. I would absolutely take that. I'm also very interested in the Victrix controller. I definitely want to mess around with that a little bit.
We all sell out every day.
Alright, so now like I said, the goal of a block string is to open your opponent up, and this is primarily done in one of two ways. The first way is to leave gaps in your block strings to bait out an opponent's attack. So like your opponent is mashing while they're blocking, so that their attack is going to come out as soon as possible. So you leave a gap in there so your opponent's attack starts up and they get hit in between that gap. Does that make sense? Alright, so I have my opponent set to mashing light attack. They're just going to mash light attack. That's all they're set to do. I also have my opponent set to guard all. So I will play the recording of them mashing, and if there's any gaps where they can mash through, they're going to do so and get hit. So let's give it a try. You see how they got hit at the 2M there? Let's try that again. But what I can also do is delay one of my buttons. So what I did there is all I did was just delay the heavy attack. I just delayed it slightly. I didn't mash it out, because if you just mash it out, they'll block and choose to mash out right after. So in most cases, special moves won't really do this. There are some exceptions to it. Like I'm pretty sure Goku medium tackle will do this, but let's give it a try. So if I do something like light tackle is going to be too fast to leave a gap essentially, but medium tackle is just slow enough and there's just enough of a delay to leave an actual gap. So it looks like beam does leave a gap. It might be different for different beams. It's honestly, the best thing to do is to test this out yourself, but if you're looking to catch someone mashing consistently, the best thing you can do is to just delay a button. Relying on a special move won't always work because not every special move works. Alright, let's move on to the second way we get our hit, which is mixing our opponent up. Now, what does this mean? It essentially means changing our offensive pressure in a way that is tricky to block, essentially. There are a couple of primary ways to do this. We can do a block string, and we'll learn more about block strings, and we can go straight into a Dragon Rush, and we'll talk more about Dragon Rushes. But we can even get a little bit trickier. So if I choose to call an assist, I can change sides because we're plus because of the assist. Using an assist is going to be the safest. You can also do something similar with Vanish, but this is under the presumption that your opponent respects your plus range, that they know that you're plus. Because if your opponent blocks your Vanish, the person that Vanish is going to be +2. So if your opponent knows that it's not their turn, you can go and be a little tricky. So Vanish, you're plus, and then you mix them up. The simplest way to do this, the simplest way to mix your opponent up, is with 6M or forward medium attack. 6M is a universal overhead. It needs to be blocked standing if it wants to be blocked, and that's kind of where the interesting stuff comes into play. So if I do 6M plus an assist, if my opponent blocks it, because they blocked an assist as well, it is my turn to continue pressuring. Now, if my opponent gets hit by 6M plus assist, it's my chance to combo and get some decent damage on the table. Now, because of how Dragon Ball works, if I want to do a 6M, it can only come after a light attack, or it can come in a medium attack, but it cannot come after a heavy attack. Now, don't think that 6M is like the God button or anything like that, because if you are too predictable with 6M, characters can mash out on you, can get hit, you can get 2H'd, I believe. If you are too predictable with your 6M, you can get punished. You can get mashed out on 110%. Characters do it better than other characters. Gogeta is a perfect example of characters that do it very well. Now, because 6M is not a true combo, there's a gap in it. Reversal options are available to the player. So if I'm Vegeta and I just want to mash reversal, I can absolutely do that and get a full punish. Because reversals are in play, because there's a gap, just as easily, I can mash level 3. So if you're too predictable, like, 6M is not the end-all be-all. Okay, I gave you guys the theory, but let's talk about actually making a block string, making something that looks a little bit cleaner. Okay, so let's actually give you guys something to work with as far as block strings. Understanding that you can only go from a lighter strength to a heavier strength in that order is very important for making your block string and your block string options. So as we already addressed, we can go from light to medium to heavy. We cannot go from heavy to medium or medium to light. It just doesn't work that way. So within these strengths of buttons, you have more than just hitting the button. You have a couple options. As we already addressed, we have 6M, which is a universal normal. It works with every character. Every character has this normal. But we also have the crouching versions of our moves as well. You can't ignore those. You could do something like light attack, sure, but you could also do light attack, crouching light attack. You could do double crouching light attack. You could do something like crouching light into light. You could do something like crouching light into crouching medium. You could do standing medium to crouching medium. You could do crouching medium and standing medium. As long as you are going in one direction with your buttons, it doesn't matter what order you do them in. So the importance of the crouching light attack depends on what character you're playing. For Vegeta and for also Blue Goku, these are low attacks. That means they have to be blocked crouching. For a character, however, like Trunks' crouching light attack is a mid. You could see that Gogeta is standing and he doesn't need a crouch block for it. That means he could block it either high or low and it will be blocked successfully. So why is this important? Having a low crouching light attack means it gives your opponent something more to worry about when it comes to blocking. So for a character like Trunks, who only has a low crouching medium attack, that means once Gogeta blocks that, the only other things he needs to worry about blocking are mids or highs, which means the rest of his defense can be done standing. Once this move is out of the way, he can stand for the rest of the attacks. All right, so I'm gonna give you a pretty basic universal block string that works for most characters. I would say the exception to this is hit, but we'll address hit as well. So a good universal block string for most characters is going to be 5L, 5L, or standing light, into either crouching medium, standing medium, or standing medium, crouching medium. That works for most characters. Now you can also go into heavy as well. This just gives your opponent one more thing to worry about. Now, the next level beyond this is to add a special move. So if I do that same thing into beam, that's going to be great. Now, I could do that same thing with Shining Slash. Don't neglect your other special moves. They have their own uses for a reason. Like Goku is a prime example. I could do my shoulder tackle. I could do my EX shoulder tackle, which means they have to block the other side. But also, UI Goku, or excuse me, but also, Blue Goku has a command grab. Don't ignore that as an option too. He has it for a reason. Use it. Now, just so we're clear on 6M, 6M is an important move based on whether it is blocked or if it hits. Obviously, if you're doing 6M plus an assist, you're going to be plus. If it hits, you're going to get a combo off it. But if you're just doing it by itself, If it is blocked, it is neutral on block. That means whoever has the faster attack will win that trade. If it is even, it will go to a clash situation. Now, if your 6M hits, you're going to be +3. That means if you choose to mash and your opponent chooses to mash, that means your attack is going to hit. So know that in case you were doing that raw. Okay, so related to block strings is Dragon Rush. Dragon Rush is essentially this game's throw. It is this game's throw. It can't be blocked. The only way to get around it is to tech or mash out or something like that. If you are too predictable with Dragon Rush, it's going to get teched or punished or something. Obviously, being tricky with this move is going to be your best way of actually landing it and opening up your opponent. So how do we do this? Well, to do this is to know when Dragon Rush can come as far as timing wise. It can be done raw and it can hit. But also, you have another option available to you as well. You can do what is called a tick throw, which you just jab. It is just one jab, and then you can go into Dragon Rush. This gets a lot of people, but if you do it too much, you can be red and essentially teched or punished. The only other way to do this is to use a block string first and cover up with your assist. So if I use something like Trunks, and then Dragon Rush right after, that's a good way to do it. But essentially, I'm just doing it raw. Same thing with tick throw. So if I do a block string, call it Trunks assist, I can tick throw as well. Now what does not work is if my opponent is blocking something, I cannot Dragon Rush him. They are in block stun, it doesn't work. So the rules that apply when it comes to actually doing and hitting your opponent with a Dragon Rush apply for defending against them. They could either come raw or from a tick throw. We will be doing a video soon about defense, but that's just a little tip that I wanted to give you guys. So the last thing I wanted to say related to block strings is you could do special moves from any point in your block strings on any normal except for 6M. You cannot cancel into 6M into any special move. It just doesn't work. I don't even think you can go into level 3 off 6M. No, you cannot. All right, moving on from block strings finally, let's talk a little bit about neutral. Now, what is neutral? Neutral is a point in the match where neither you or your opponent are attacking or exploiting any kind of advantage. So at round start, you're in a neutral position. Your goal is to play neutral in whatever way benefits you. So if you're playing a character like Frieza, maybe playing the neutral for you looks something like this. Maybe this is how you go about playing the neutral, is to keep your opponent out and have them play your game. But in most cases, your goal as a character is to get in, set up your offense, set up your block strings, and get to attacking. In most cases, especially at low level, players are going to be abusing Super Dash to get in as their way to play neutral. Obviously, this is not always good. You can absolutely punish. We've gone over, you can punish Super Dash with 2H. If they are not Super Dashing, they're vanishing and Super Dashing right after. Now, that's exactly why in the first tutorial I covered movement. Because it is important to know your movement options to get around the screen so you can play the neutral effectively. If you are going to use Super Dash, I would recommend using a assist to kind of cover you up. Now I know what you're thinking. I know how to move across the screen. Do you? Do you really? Because a lot of people will Super Dash. A lot of people do it raw. Not even covered with an assist. People will just straight up do Super Dash raw. And any somewhat capable player, somewhat competent player will be ready because they'll see you do it all the time and they'll punish you with 2H. Let's once again go over our movement options. You have a walk forward, you have a walk back, you have a jump, you have 2 jumps even. Fucking crazy, I know. You have an air dash available. This does count as one of your jumps. You have a super jump as well. Using this is going to help you get in. It's going to help you, like, if there's a bunch of craziness going on the screen, like, it's going to help you get through that as well. If you're struggling to do the whole super jump thing, or like, you know, just finding a good way to jump in, this is a tag game. You got assists, and I know I've already talked about them, but you can literally have your assists play the neutral for you. I didn't have to do anything crazy. All I did was call beam and run up. Now, having your assist play the neutral is great, like, on the inverse as well, because An assist like a beam assist is a great example of this. Most people don't want to block the beam assist. So what do people do? They will either vanish to get away from it, or most of the time they will jump. They'll try to jump over the beam and be in the air. And what do low level players do once they jump? They do one of two things. They super dash or they vanish. If you are ready for both, they can both be punished by 2H. My best advice for this would be don't get impatient. It's very possible that playing against a character like FighterZ, like your neutral decisions will maybe look something like walking forward a little bit, blocking, walking forward a little bit, blocking, walking forward a little bit, blocking. And then after all that, you're jumping up and then super jumping. That might be the way to get in. Just don't get impatient, don't get frustrated in super dash, because it's very possible you might get punished. Okay, let's move on to combos. Your combos will look at first a lot like your block strings. That's kind of how they start. I will be covering the characters this doesn't work for, but I'm going to start with a very universal combo for most characters, and then I'll get into the bit more obscure. So for Trunks, it's going to be light, light, crouching medium, standing medium, right? And then you could either go into 2H after that, or you can do something called a jump cancel. So a jump cancel just means cutting off the animation and canceling your attack into a jump. So if I do a jump cancel after that standing medium, it'll look like that. Now you actually have the capability to do this twice actually. So if I do that same thing and then just jump again and do light medium, continues the combo. So now where do you go after this? Well, 2H. So if I do light medium, 2H, I just super dash right after and just press light, light, light. That is a very good combo that'll get you a long way. But maybe if you're still just stuck a little bit on auto combos, we can do that auto combo, just add our jump cancels to it. So if I do auto combo, I super dash, light medium, jump light medium, and then heavy. That works for a lot of characters actually. So let's use FighterZ as an example. So super dash, light medium, heavy. Same thing. So FighterZ is an example of a character this wouldn't really work with, because FighterZ doesn't have an air 2H. He has this spike. It's not the same as Super Saiyan Goku or Trunks. So what our version of that combo would look like would either be light, light, crouching medium, standing medium. And then we'd either go into 5H or standing heavy, and then we'd super dash, or we could go into down heavy and super dash. So let's give that a go. Light medium, heavy. So I believe this version of the combo will not give sliding knockdown, but it does knock them down to the ground. So however, if we do 2H, it will give us sliding knockdown. So just know that that is what's going to happen. So let's try it again. Let's just mash light though. We don't get sliding knockdown from that version of the FighterZ combo. The best way for FighterZ to go about things and to like end things into a super is to use FighterZ's quarter circle forward plus special attack. That is one of FighterZ's best ways to combo into his level 1 in the air. So if I do this and then just level 1 right after, we can continue the combo and end it with supers. Okay, so hit has always been a bit of a tricky one for me, but a very basic combo to do with hit is just light, light, medium, medium, and then super dash right after. And then you can get your jump cancels. You will not get sliding knockdown off this, sadly, but what you could do is you could do hits auto combo and do light, medium, heavy. And then you could still get that slide knockdown. Conversely, you can do... Oh, not what I meant to do. Conversely, you could do hits level 1 in the air. So if you're interested and worried about getting super, that's an option. But also, yes, hit does have his 2H available to him. So if I do light, light, medium, 2H, that's an option I can follow up with super dash. So hit doesn't have a conventional 2L or 2M, so those aren't going to be used for combos, or at least not at early levels. They will be used for more advanced combos, but for now we're going to be working with what we got. So for a character like Teen Gohan's a little bit different, because if we just do light, light, he ends up in the air, and we can't continue the combo normally. But if we do light, light, light auto combo and then super dash, we can still get an okay combo into sliding knockdown, so that's perfectly fine. But also, conversely, we could do something, instead of light, light, we could do light, crouching light, or crouching light, light. So I could do crouching light, light, crouching medium, standing medium, and do like a standard combo. Oh, that's not even the version I showed you. So yeah, the same thing would apply. It would be crouching light, crouching medium, standing medium, jump cancel, light medium, jump cancel, light medium, down heavy, super dash, light, light, light. So GT Goku's a little bit different as well. GT Goku doesn't get a super dash off of his heavy button like most characters. He gets a super dash off of his power pull, which is his jumping special attack. So a standard combo for GT Goku would look something like this. Now, GT Goku's air down heavy actually spikes to the ground. It actually gives you the sliding knockdown that you're looking for a super. So it's totally normal to use special moves in your combos as well. Like, they're gonna help you get damaged. Like, there's no reason not to use them. It's pretty par for the course. Additionally, kind of what I just did there is to use Vanish. I feel like players ignore how good Vanish is for just getting that extra bit of damage. So even if I just do something basic like auto combo, if I Vanish and do another auto combo, this is more damage on the table. If you're worried about character specific combos or just more advanced stuff in general, there are 1,000 guides for more optimal combos for whatever character that you have a concern of. So if there's any questions, by all means, look it up. But I do believe that is going to do things. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to see more, check out the rest channel. In the description, there's links to not just my channel, but a whole bunch of other stuff as well. Check it out. I have a Twitch in there. Vince's Instagram is there. You can check out his art stuff. Mark is down there. Yeah, there's just going to be a whole bunch of stuff. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.